The Electricity and Gas Complaints Scheme is an independent complaints resolution scheme for all users of gas and electricity.
Well, the scheme was set up in 2001 by the industry, and my job as the Commissioner is to resolve complaints. So we do that by having staff in the office who work on the files, and if it can't be resolved with the companies, then I can make a decision.
The Commission's key role is to provide a free and independent complaint resolution service for users of electricity and gas and those who have contact with networks.
When companies join the scheme, they agree to be bound by my decision. So if the complainant accepts my decision, then the company's agreed to be bound by it.
The Commission is entirely funded by industry, either the lines companies or retailers.
People who can use the scheme is pretty much anyone with a complaint about an electricity or gas company. There is a dollar value limit though. The amount in dispute has to be less than $20,000 unless the company agrees to extend it, and they can extend it up to $50,000. The most common reason for people to contact the scheme is because of a problem with a bill, but we also look into problems with switching, with meters, with power surges, problems with infrastructure, and also difficulties when electricity or gas lines companies access their kit that they've got on somebody else's land. Staff in my office have a variety of backgrounds. Some may have qualifications in law, science, dispute resolution, commerce, but once they work for us, we focus on sharpening their dispute resolution skills, so they all have mediation training and also investigation. And then we focus on teaching them about the nature of the industry and some of the more technical issues. Once a person's made a complaint to a company, the company has 20 working days to work with that person to resolve the complaint.
Well, when we're working with a complainant, we advise them, if they're not happy with the outcome, that they have the right to go to the Electricity and Gas Complaints Commissioner, but we also include the information in our terms and conditions on our website, and a lot of our correspondence that we send out to a customer, and if we're writing to a customer, we will advise them of the scheme's existence.
If after 20 working days the member company and the person haven't been able to resolve their complaint, then the member company must tell them they can contact this office if they choose to. The way a complainant lodges a complaint with our scheme is merely to contact us, and they can contact us by phone, by email, by fax. They can write us a letter, any way to bring the matter to our attention, and they don't have to have it perfectly formed. We'll contact them and talk them through finding out what their complaint is, what they've done about it, in a way so we get the full picture. So merely contacting our office starts the process, and we work with them from there. When a complainant contacts this office, the first thing we have to do is to work out where they are in the process. So if they haven't been to their company, we'll refer them back to their company, make sure the company knows about their complaint. But if they've already tried to resolve it with the company and it remains unresolved, then we will start to work and facilitate the resolution between the company and the complainant. And that can be by using a mix of mediation, conciliation, investigation, a whole range of processes that fits the complaint and the parties that are involved in a way to try and resolve that complaint. If the early work doesn't settle the complaint, then we go on and complete an investigation. We take an inquisitorial approach, so we ask the questions the complainant would ask if only they knew more about the industry. So we use our expertise we've built up over the years to learn more about the complaint and get to the real facts. And that might include calling in an expert, a technical expert, having a forensic examination of the meter, talking to people who aren't directly involved in the complaint, so maybe we're getting evidence from neighbours about an incident that happened, and at the end of that process we'll send out an investigation summary so both parties know what we found out during our consideration of the complaint. And again, if that doesn't resolve it, then I can recommend a settlement.
If a complainant's not happy with the recommendation, then they can go off to the disputes tribunal if it's within the jurisdiction of the tribunal. But if they want to accept the recommendation, they've got 15 days to do so. Once they've agreed to accept the recommendation, then that becomes final and binding on them.
If the company isn't happy with my recommendation, they can decide to reject it. But if the complainant has accepted it, I can then go on and make an award against the company, which is then binding on them.
The scheme isn't for the complainant and it isn't for the company. The scheme is there to try and get the parties to a dispute to either reach a resolution, and if they can't reach an agreed resolution, to make a recommendation. I think a complainant should go to the scheme rather than go off to a lawyer, mainly because it's free. It's a free service, it's funded by the companies, but it's there to provide an independent process to try and resolve problems between a complainant and the company. So that'd be the main reason. If you go off to a lawyer, you're going to have to pay legal fees. As I said, this one is a free service.
We find that when customers feel like maybe they haven't been heard, that there's somewhere that they can go and know that they will be heard. And we'd like to think that we can solve everything in-house, but sometimes we do need that independence.
The benefits of the scheme for the member companies is that they get to be a good corporate citizen. They are putting the customer first, putting the consumer first. They're fully funding a scheme, providing a free, independent, accessible scheme that people can come to try and get their disputes resolved without having to go off to the courts. The other benefit is that by handling lots and lots of complaints, the scheme identifies systemic issues, those problems that are occurring across the industry or maybe with one particular company over and over again. And that's of a real benefit so that they can address those and reduce overall complaints against the industry.
The benefits of the scheme to member companies is it provides an adjunct to their own complaint resolution service. And certainly as part of a mature infrastructure industry to complainants, it provides an independent and free service funded by that industry.